Hey there. We're live. We always got to wait that extra. My camera always takes like an extra 3 seconds to show up. What's up, everybody? It's another awesome episode of Ska Talk with Mr. Kingpin. I'm your host, Johnny Bravo, aka Mr. Kingpin. Tonight with us, we have a Renaissance man. He does it all. He does the art. He does music. He's a great singer. Oh, you didn't know I was going to say that, did you? He is located in Bakersfield, California. Give it up for Krees Borbon.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
What's going on, Chris? How you feeling?
You know, you actually pronounced my last name right. A lot of people don't get that.
Borbon.
Borbon, yeah.
Para los hispanos.
Yeah, but it's so
Did they think it's bourbon or something?
Yeah, they typically it's bourbon, but you know the U isn't there, so Bourbon.
Bourbon.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
At this point,
Muy
it's
bueno.
like, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Yeah, originally it's Bourbon, so it's derived from French and Spanish.
Right, but your name is Chris.
My name is Chris.
But I have on here Krees.
Krees, yeah. That's my alter ego.
I'm not gonna. Okay, so confession. When I first met you for a while, I was like, is his name really Krees? I thought it was Chris, and I had to ask Esteban.
It's just boring old Chris, Chris. But it kind of just, it came from, just as like an inside joke when we were younger. Like my mom, you know, tried to get my attention. She'd yell, Krees, Krees. It just kind of came from there, and we kind of just stuck with it.
Nice.
As a joke, and then it's just what it is now.
It's always good to have a nickname.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for hanging out with me tonight on Ska
Talk. Thanks for the invite, man. This is I don't do this too much, so I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous.
We're all good.
I'm always the drummer. I'm the behind the scenes guy. I'm like in the back.
Bro.
So it's kind of weird to think that like I'm live right now and like anybody can go on and like watch me.
Anybody.
Yeah.
We already had Greg Lee from Hepcat pop up asking.
Yeah, Greg Lee, heck yeah, man. We'll be hanging out in August.
Yeah, September. So, yeah, this crazy person put a bunch of clap emojis. Jane Guerrero.
Oh yeah, she's a great singer. And aside from singing, I mean, she has many musical talents, but her tops is definitely the tambourine. And I think most people and a lot of people know that. She's a great tambourine player.
She works at tambourine. Yeah. I watched. Yeah, but she's not related to you. She's Borbon.
Oh yeah,
Jane,
that's my wife.
Jane Borbon.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, there's a lot to get into, so let's dive into it.
For sure, man.
So Chris over here brought him on the show because this guy just plays the crap out of some ska drumming, and it's like, I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna evoke the name, but it's like some Lloyd Nib stuff right here.
That's my guy. That's my
the drummer of the Scatolites for those unaware. And
source of inspiration right there.
But first of all, I guess just kind of like going back, like how did you get into ska in the first place?
Well, it's kind of a quirky story because my brother, I have older brothers, and my brother that's above me, Bryant, he would always like listen to this music and play the music, but he never knew it was ska really. And it was just like the stuff that like 90s ska that was popular at the time, a lot of that stuff. But like also he had a lot of like he would blend in some like specials and two-tone stuff as well.
Right.
And I don't know. He found out the name. Like, I remember, like, he came home from school one time and he was like, "Hey, I know that type of music. It's called ska. Like, a friend of mine listens to it." And then shortly after that, what really initiated everything was um, we were nerding out on this, trying to find out more about ska. And then we were in LA because I had family in LA. And then my uncle, he overheard us and he was like, you guys talking about ska, like ska music? We're like, yeah. Have you heard of it? He's like, yeah, yeah. I love that, man. Like, I'm way familiar with it. Have you guys ever heard of this band and this band, this band? We're like, oh, like what? And so like he like straight up schooled us that day. And I'll never forget that time. I walked home with like one of our first CDs we had. And I was about 12 at the time,
Oh
12,
wow.
13. And we walked home with some CDs that he gave us, and one of them, and it was a good selection because I like to think that it was a well-rounded selection that he gave us at the time. It was Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Let's Face It, and then he gave us a mixed CD, like a mixed CD that was it had like a mix of third wave, two-tone, and then traditional stuff, Jamaican original stuff. And then he gave me another CD that was called The History of Ska, and it had like all the OGs, Guy had the Skylights on there, like early Desmond Decker, early Toot stuff, like Maytel stuff.
So you just got
Just a mix of everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Stranger Cole, all that. So, yeah, I mean, that was ever since then. I've been hooked, man.
That's pretty cool to have family members. That's like a different perspective than just like finding out about it in high school or whatever with your friends.
Yeah, for sure. It was for sure. That's how yeah. I like to kind of say he ruined my life with that, man. I was like, man, it was over once I discovered, I don't actually mean that though. I mean,
right. Sure,
but,
sure, you don't.
Yeah, ever since then, I've just been hooked on like, the idea of just God. And at the time, like when you're younger, I was driven more into, the punkier stuff, like a lot of people were at the time. But I like to think, I was well exposed with everything. And as I grew older, I started appreciating like the early Jamaican stuff and started getting more into like the rock steady tunes. And then like,
right.
I discovered the whole reggae era. I used to go hang out at there used to be a record store here. It was called Downtown Records in Bakersfield. And I used to go sort through records and stuff. And I remember looking through reggae stuff. And at the time, I was like familiar with the skinhead reggae stuff, but I never really dove too deep into it. And but the owner, Jake Chavez, I don't even think he knows this story. I've never really told him, but like he saw me looking through the stuff and he was like, "Hey man, like you like skinhead reggae stuff? Like I see you looking through the reggae section." I was like, "Yeah, man." And like from there, he showed me some videos, like, and it was just like old documentary stuff, of like the skinhead reggae era and like the UK and all that. And like that's how I got into all of that. So ever since like he showed me that, it intrigued me more. Just started sorting through more records and going to shows and stuff. So.
Figuring out all the nuances between each iteration, right?
Yeah, that's kind of my story on how I got into Jamaican music. And yeah, I don't do these interviews a lot, so
no, it's
a lot of people know that,
I like that. I like I think it impacts more too when you have like an older sibling or if you have like an uncle or something that, because you're always looking up to those kind of people and family members and stuff, and then you feel like you're in with the big boys when you're listening to their tunes, right?
For sure. And like me and my brother were obsessed, man. Like this is a funny story. I don't know if Greg Lee's still on here, but it's kind of a funny story. But we used to go at the time, like computers weren't really too big. They were just happening, So we had to go to the library and we had to sign in to get like computer time, we get like 30 minutes of computer time. and like we'd go and like basically pretend we're gonna go to do homework, and then me and my brother, we just end up like looking up. Like I just remember my brother being like, he was just getting into Hepcat at the time, and he was just playing I believe the No Worries video was on there, and that's just like, that was like one of the first times I was listening to Hepcat was through Yahoo Music website when it was barely starting out, and it was all pixelated and the buffering the whole time, and but it was pretty cool.
Good old 56K modems, right?
Yeah, so that's how I started discovering too, like a lot of LA bands too, because we weren't too connected with that since we lived in Bakersfield,
right?
You know.
So then that kind of brings me to another question. Like, so when did you start like playing the drums and other instruments?
So when, I don't even know how old I was. Around the same time, maybe earlier.
Did you get like inspired?
Well, my dad played guitar. He still plays guitar. He was a big classic rock guy. He's still into it. And I remember the first time I picked up the guitar was I remember him teaching my brother how to play like it was what was it? Led Zeppelin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's a dun 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 Stairway to Heaven, you know, like that middle part where it's like the dun 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 dun, and then there's a huge solo. Like my brother my dad taught my brother how to play the rhythm part on the guitar, and my dad was soloing to it, doing the original solo. And I remember sitting there watching, and then I kind of picked up what my brother was doing. And then after that, I picked up the guitar and started jamming a little bit. And then my brother started mimicking drums. Shortly after that, my brother got a drum set for Christmas, and because he always wanted to play drums, so he got a drum set for Christmas, and he was a drummer. And then I would pick up, like I would follow him, so I would try playing drums after him, and he noticed I was picking it up well, so then he started moving to guitar and bass, and that's kind of how I kept the drums.
You had a family jam band going on.
Yeah. But yeah, originally I guess I did play guitar first, but once I started playing drums, I stuck with that. And my brother started playing guitar, and eventually he became a bass player. He started playing bass.
Yeah, and I've heard that you guys used to be a knockout duo of reggae, bass, and drums.
I like to think of that, you know. It was good time. It was a good time.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So then what was the scene like over there at the time? Like when you started finding out about ska, I'm sure you started looking for shows.
Yeah, I remember there was another website, I think it was called bakersfieldbands.com. And I remember going on there and seeing a list of bands, and there was reggae bands. There was a few reggae bands, you know, and there were skinhead reggae bands. So I was just getting into that. So like, I'll try to show up to like some of those shows and all that. But I kind of, when I started getting the music, it was kind of the tail end towards like when not a lot of ska bands were happening much anymore here.
Yeah.
Like the only bands that were happening were like Mental Guru. They've been around for a long time. Like I remember at an early age, you know, going. But this was kind of after I started going to their shows afterwards. But there was Mental Brewer, there was Crawdaddy, and there was what was another band?
Yeah, because you were only 12, right? when you started listening to ska, so you had to wait a few years.
Yeah.
Just in time for everything to dry up.
Yeah. But then I kind of started initiating the ska bands, and like, you know, at the time, that's when I met my friend Ray, actually. I met him at a punk show, and the Suicide Machines were playing, and I just went to see Suicide Machines because, you know, they were one of the bigger bands that I liked when I was younger. And then Ray was there, and, you know, I noticed that he was in there to see the Suicide Machines too, and I was like, you know, started talking to him. And then after that, I ran into him at the college, at the local college. And then we started talking. He started saying he plays guitar. And I was like, what? Like, I play drums. My brother plays bass. And like, we did our first little jam together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I started playing music, or started playing locally.
And you still play, you still playing with them to this day with the Rhythm Ambassadors.
Yeah, we had a few bands, but nothing really cracked, you know, like nothing really happened.
Yeah.
And I was doing some studio work too at the time at an early age. Like there's a band called the Tarfons. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're from Bakersfield.
Mm.
But I did some tracks for them. And
wow. I mean,
but it was just skinhead reggae, like early just Jamaican UK style.
Right.
But I never ended up playing like a live show with them. I was like, I don't know what I was doing at the time, but.
So I guess if any of you guys have any comments or questions, just throw them in the chat, and I will ask.
Yeah.
And but
know of any questions? I guess
random.
Not to too much, you know.
Yeah, just random. Just throw anything at him. Yeah. It's a Ask Me Anything with Krees Borbon. Yeah. Ska Bill is saying hi, guys.
What up?
Ska Bill is out in Minneapolis. You know, I've met him before at, I think, Fistful of Ska, right, Bill?
We were supposed to play that, and it never happened. We were supposed to play there a few times when I was playing with the band out of Fresno called the Suppressors, and I was in that band for a few years. We did a full length, they released Suppressors at 2 full lengths, but yeah, we're supposed to play Fistful of Ska, and it never happened.
Man, I think we've talked about this before, just you and me.
Kind of bummed.
You missed a good time, bro. Not to rub it in, but that was, I think that was, gosh, until Supernova came around, that festival was pretty legit.
Yeah, I remember wanting to go, man. That one and what was it? 3 Floors of Ska, was that the other one? Yeah,
that was the other one. That was like the Toasters, right? They would run that one.
And there was one in Vegas too.
The Ska Summit.
Ska Summit.
Yeah,
Ska Summit. I went to a couple of the New Year's Eve bash, something. I went to a few of those.
Kansas City always has a cool one, like the Hooligan Holiday.
Oh yeah, Hooligan Holiday. But mainly when I was younger, I had no way to get out of town. So we had a place here. We still have a place. It's called Jerry's Pizza. A lot of people are familiar with it. I don't know. It's like the CBGBs of Bakersfield, man. Like a step below the Gilman almost, you know?
Oh.
It's a lot of punk bands with crews there. And, I remember seeing a lot of good bands roll through there.
Do they still do shows, or will they still do shows?
They still do shows. They still do shows, but it's not like back then. It was just punk bands, you know, like seven nights a week, man. And now it's a little more. They switch it up. I like that they're bringing it back because for a long time it was kind of dead. It wasn't doing much, but they got some new owners and they're doing really well with it. I like to think they have like a Sunday brunch going, but they're also doing really diverse shows, you know.
Yeah.
They'll have some punk shows, also do like some mariachi stuff, and
it's always kind of neat, like, you know, because everybody knows about LA, New York, right? But especially once you've been on the road and you try going to, you know, Bakersfield, or you go to you know, I've been to different like little towns in New Mexico or Arizona.
That's what was cool about Jerry's Pizza in Bakersfield is these touring bands would roll through, you know, between the weekend shows, you know, like they'd have a LA show and then they'd have San Francisco, and in between they'd come to Bakersfield for a fill-in show. And I get to see all these bands at an intimate place, you know, like really close. I get to meet them, talk to them, and yeah.
There's a guy that lives here in Dallas that is from Bakersfield, and he was always trying to tell me to link up with bands over there to play. He used to play in a band. I don't know. You might know him because I'm sure the scene, everybody knew each other. His name was Peters Vouth. Is Asian guy, and he played Barry sax.
Who did he play with?
It was like a band that had a very exotic name, but he played with them for a while. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
So
yeah,
it's kind of cool that you're the one kind of leading the charge, trying to make something happen over there.
I wouldn't say that, but
well, I mean, you and like Ray and them trying to just make bands happen instead of, waiting around.
Yeah, I mean.
So what bands have?
I mean, I just want to give some props to Mento Brewery. You know, they've been around for a long time, and they're still releasing stuff. And they just did a dub version of some songs they released, and it's with Brian Wallace, Dub Robot, which played in a bunch of bands back then.
Yeah.
But so I mean they're still going. Mainly in town. They kind of stay in town. They're little. They have a lot of them have families and stuff, but to keep a band going for that long, that's kind of, I think they deserve props.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we props to Ray too. He's doing a lot of cool stuff right now, and he's branching out too. Out of town, playing with the LA bands, Matamos Ska, and well, he's got some other projects. I don't know. I'll respectfully hold back, and he can talk about it. Well, I know he's got other projects he's doing, and
there's one he's doing. Like he's already been on Ska Talk back a couple months ago. But there's a cool one he's doing where he's taking video game music and.
Yeah.
Have you been on any of that, or are you part of that?
There's been talk about it, but I don't know. Nothing yet.
Nice.
Yeah.
So your main.
It's a collective of a lot of good musicians. So
yeah.
I think it's a project worth waiting for or looking towards.
Okay, so you're playing drums, you're listening to ska, and you're an extremely amazing ska drummer and a drummer. Like I've heard you blast Suicide Machines, note perfect, and then.
But that's the band I looked up to, like when I was younger, So,
and I've heard you do all the one drop, the ska, like. It's all there. You got all that feel, man. Yeah. So like,
that's what always intrigued me in all types of ska. Whether it's third wave ska punk or Jamaican stuff, is that the drums were always so. I don't know. There's more to it than other types of music that I noticed.
Yeah. Oh, and mariachi, I hear.
Mariachi. So that. Mariachi drums? Oh, my screen's doing some weird stuff. I wish I could see the comments, man.
Have you, well, are you on the Facebook page?
Yeah.
You could also try the YouTube page if the Facebook's not working.
Sorry, fellas, for
technical difficult. Oh, I'm reading them. It was Jane. Jane's messing with you, I think.
Oh, okay.
But that would be awesome. It wouldn't shock me at all if you could play mariachi.
Yeah. But back to what was I saying? Yeah, man, that's what drove me into playing, ska specifically, and then Jamaican music. Was the drums were always. They just seemed like they were more than just like normal.
So how on earth did you get the style, the feel so perfect? What? Tell us your secret.
I went and saw, who did I see? I mean, Scatolites, first of all. Oh man, I'm sorry, man. I'm getting all these pop-ups, man. What the?
It's all that malware.
No, man. It's weird. But what was I? Yeah. No, lots of scatolites, man. Like I said, that History of Ska CD that my uncle gave me. From then,
So as a drummer,
I
you were
like.
able to just kind of like
Yeah,
hear it.
yeah. I used
And
to love like how old it sounded, and the drums were so unique. And at the time, it wasn't jazz, but it wasn't punk, but it wasn't. The drums were just different. So like, that's kind of how I started
huh,
with that. And then I would go see That's funny because I would go see just bands. I'd go to LA whenever my brother was able to drive, or sometimes we'd hitch rides. We'd go check out the LA bands. And I remember seeing C Spot one time, and like I talked to Ben Farrar afterwards, and I was like, "I love your style, man. Like how, that's like I love playing, traditional style ska too, man. Like I was like, how do you get your feel? Like I was trying to get some like feedback from other drummers that were also playing ska,
yeah,
and all he said was, listen to a lot of scatolites, man. Listen to a lot of scatolites. And that's kind of just like the same thing with me. It's like scatolites, man.
it's funny. I'm not a drummer.
Listen to scatolites.
That is that's the takeaway from today's episode.
Yeah.
Listen to the Scotlights.
Yeah,
That's
but that's like the main. But when I started getting more into reggae, there's also like Carly Barrett. And that really spoke to me too. That was another level of, oh snap, because my brother was a bass player and I'm a drummer. So growing up, like we listened to like we were just getting into upsetter stuff, like hippie boy stuff, all that, and like Carly and Family Man, being brothers, drum and bass. It's me and my brother kind of looked up to that and adopted that kind of style and that idea of just being brothers, locking in drums and bass. So.
Nice. You guys have like any recordings
of me and my brother? I don't. I think there's. He did the suppressors, the latest suppressors one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think that's the last thing my brother tracked. But most of it was just like stuff that didn't really come off the ground. It was just kind of like local stuff,
Yeah, it's funny.
Like just jamming with other people and playing locally.
The suppressors.
We didn't branch out too much, at that age. But it wasn't until like the suppressors during that time when when we branched out and like started playing other places and all that.
So I don't know how I found out about this. And yes, by the way, who doesn't listen to the Scotlights? Well, you'd be surprised. There's some people that that really need to be listening to the Scotlights.
Yeah.
But
a lot of times it's just about, educating, exposing people to,
right.
Really reggae stuff. A lot of people don't. That's kind of what I try to do.
I think sooner, like even when you get into like us that got in the 90s, and I think like today, there's like a whole other set of bands that people are getting into. And I think eventually everybody finds their way backwards to the roots.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And some it takes longer than others, but we just kind of settle into when you get my age, it's just you're down with the rock steady. Anything that you don't have to move too fast on is just like
no. There's something about that. Like I find that with a lot of people. Like when you're young, you're a rager, you're raging, you have all this energy. You're attracted to, stuff that's fast and
right.
punk and all that. And as you grow older, yeah, you kind of start listening to the grooves of just like like you're saying, just the rock steady stuff or like
yeah.
All that, just like discovering all like the skinhead reggae stuff, and you come to appreciate all that. You move backwards.
So,
I mean, there's room and appreciation for all of it. I like to think of
there is room for all of it, And nobody should be. Oh, you can always tell a person who listens to the Scotalites from those who don't.
Yeah.
That was from Greg.
Great.
This is very true. And my friend, you listen to the Scotalites quite a bit.
I can't see. I wish I could see the comments. Was that Greg also?
Yeah, that was Greg that said that.
Right on. Heck
So,
yeah, man. Thank you. That's.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to it's so fun to watch you play drums. It's kind of hard to take your eyes off of you because you have a lot of good showmanship with it too. And I don't know if you even realize it, but you're really like the feel is there, and you're like totally get into it.
I just like to have fun with it, man. I just like to have fun.
These twists and turns. Oh man, I wish I had some footage of that, but
I got to be careful though, because sometimes, you know, I get too much adrenaline and I start like, you know, speeding up, and you know, that's dangerous too, you know.
Yeah. So
it comes with a learning curve of you know, the same thing. Like when you're younger, you just want to rage, and then you learn the finesse of music and you know, dynamics and all that.
Right. And before I forget, the Suppressors, I don't know how I found out about them, but I did. And there was this song that I just couldn't stop listening to. And it's from 7 years ago. Have Some Respect.
Have some respect, man.
Yeah, I love that tune. And I would watch that video that Ska Bob, he does a lot of live videos. So
in Portland, right?
Yeah. So he would do a lot of live videos, and anyway, there was a video of that song, and I just watch it because that song is just so cool.
Yeah, man, it's a fun jam.
Come to find out, all this time later, that was you back there on the drums.
Yeah, it's me, man. But I'm hidden, man. I just like to stay in my zone, you know.
That's why you gotta like keep moving so you can get in the shots.
Yeah, that was always a fun song to bring up, you know, because you know, we one thing I liked about that band too is it was really dynamic as far as, you know, like it was pretty traditional for the most part, you know, but every now and then, you know, there'd be like some two-tone feel in there, and then that was always fun and get people into it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a fun band. I still talk to a lot of the guys. Omari's an awesome front man. I mean, I still plan and hope, you know, we'll be doing some stuff in the future, you know, nothing planned yet, but
yeah,
if he's listening or watch this, I'm going to hit you up, Omari, because we're going to make some more stuff happen, man. He's a great singer, great front man, and all around cool guy.
While I was watching videos of the Capsouls, I think I caught a video or two with him.
Oh yeah,
singing with you guys. It was pretty cool. I was like, check that out.
That's like one of the many like fun things about with the Capsuls is every time we travel, we were traveling a lot, and then we have friends like all over. So every time we like, oh, we're going to Fresno, oh, we should hit up Omar, you have him come sing a song with us or hang out. You know, it was never, you know, we'd always have guests, you know, singers hang out with us, and I don't know, we always liked that.
So man, the
kind of inclusive, you know,
the Capsouls. That's like an all-star band, man. You guys got such a legit sound. It's so good. When did that start?
Man, I'm not good at dates, man. 2005? No, after that. 2000. I don't know, a couple of years. I think it would be 4 years or something. Yeah.
You guys been around a while.
Can someone else answer that on the comments? No. Can my wife answer that? No. No, it hasn't been that long. I mean, no, yeah.
Hey, you guys have done some pretty cool stuff, though.
Yeah, we have. We started out doing I mean, I wouldn't even say we played in Bakersfield much from the beginning. Like we kind of, from when we started, we were branching out, you know. We had friends in LA that were hitting us up, in San Jose. And then 2014, is that what she said?
Yep.
I see the comment. Yeah, it's 2014. But yeah, we would yeah, we were traveling a lot, so that was fun.
And you kind of have the advantage of being in California. So you got all these hot zones that you can hit the Bay Area, you could hit the LA area.
But it was cool because we started doing just playing like ode to just original Jamaican reggae. And we were playing a lot of OG reggae tunes, and that was fun too, because like, I mean, we still do it, but it was a lot of people were enjoying a lot of tunes that they hear on records, but they don't hear live too much. So that was kind of cool. And eventually from there, like we would write some originals as well, and we'd throw those in.
Yeah. I feel like there's not enough, and I'm not saying people should go out and make cover bands per se, but it would be pretty cool to have a couple bands out there that's like what they specialize in.
Yeah.
You know? Because you're right. Like, whoever gets to hear a lot of these tunes live?
Yeah.
That's why I'm so glad bands, especially trad bands, always sprinkle these in to their sets.
Yeah, we'd sneak in some originals in there too, but it's like we like to kind of just tie that, original reggae style. And I feel like at the time, like there wasn't a lot of that either, so it was kind of cool to just have like a band just dedicated to just reggae stuff,
Yeah.
Like old school, like 69, 72 style reggae. And
well,
that's mainly what we stuck with. I mean, we mix it in. We'll throw in some rock steady, every now and then we'll back Jamaicans, we'll play a little ska. But
who have you backed?
We backed Vernon Maytone. That was recent. And just did a bunch of OG Maytone stuff, and that was super fun. And then Monty as well from Cimarip. So that was fun. I was gonna say the Tenors, but the Capsouls didn't really do that one. It was kind of an all-star band that did that with Kingston a Go-Go. But yeah, it's fun, man.
It's
fun, and it's cool to just kind of keep that,
yeah,
playing the OG, keeping that message,
Richard Jones said, enjoying the interview. Rocksteady is perfect music for this heat. New Capsouls music? Is there any new Capsouls music in the works?
I think so, yes. I think so. I don't know if you guys saw, but we're playing, we haven't done anything like, as far as quarantine, like we all kind of just like, we had this whole summer tour lined up, and then quarantine happened, and we were just kind of like, everything got canceled. We're like, I wouldn't say discouraged per se, but we're kind of like, we'll just take a little time to ourselves. And yeah, we each kind of just branched out, did our own thing, kind of reprioritized during quarantine, as a lot of people did.
Right.
And yeah, so we haven't talked much about, there's been some talk about, playing and all that, but definitely we're playing, they just announced it this morning, we'll be at Punk Rock Bowling. So we'll be playing, yeah. So we'll be doing Punk Rock Bowling along with the Slackers, our friends the Insiders, can't forget to give them a shout out. And then the Mad Caddies.
Oh man, were you guys supposed to play Punk Rock Bowling?
Yeah, we were supposed to do it 2020.
So they got you back?
Yeah. Yeah, those guys.
Good. I wonder if the other bands that were supposed to go, they got back, or if I'll have to go through and check.
Yeah, and we're playing the pool deck, so it's gonna be extra fun, man.
When is Punk Rock Bowling?
So it's gonna be a pool party. We're gonna play some music and
pool party, baby.
Yeah.
I heard it's a cool party.
So the Aquabats is one of the bands I saw, like one of the first bands I saw here at Jerry's Pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it was. Oh, I saw a lot of cool bands, but just to think they were playing all these like big places in LA and San Francisco, and they just cruised by Bakersfield and they played Jerry's Pizza, and you know,
That's pretty.
they're on like a 12-inch stage, like right in front of you. So
Oh man.
Like, yeah.
I got to take my kids to see the Aquabats because by that point they had the TV show. They had Yo Gabba Gabba, and then they had the Aquabats TV show, which I loved. I was eating it all up.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I saw them recently at when was the last time we saw them? Was the Back to the Beach festival they had in Huntington Beach. My wife and I think that was our first anniversary, and one of our friends offered us tickets. Tanya, big ups to Tanya. That was such an awesome thing. She gave us tickets for that, like all access backstage.
Oh wow.
And so yeah, so we just decided to go there for our anniversary, and it was like one of the funnest festivals. Like they're like right near the beach, like right where the water is, in the barefoot on the sand. It was like the coolest thing, man. And plus, like a lot of those bands, like from, the 90s were playing, like the Aquabats played, Suicide Machines played. So it was kind of a throwback show too,
Yeah.
But then you also had like the OGs, like the Untouchables played, Fishbone, like Hepcat played that. It was a good mix.
I really wanted to go to that.
It was a fun, but yeah, so we saw the Aquabats there, and like when I was watching them, like they were throwing the floaties and stuff. I was like, man, like it kind of took me back, like it took me back, and it still makes me appreciate, like that era of music, like the third wave 90s,
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, I feel like that was kind of a cool way to kind of bring a lot of people back into like Jamaican stuff,
Yeah. And
I think a lot of people learn from Jamaican music from where, learn the origins and stuff.
Have you seen all the hubbub today about Ska's like being talked about on big news outlets and stuff like that? Like Washington Post did a big article about how Ska is coming back, but it really didn't go anywhere. And it's like, Washington Post is doing a big article on Ska.
No, there's a cool upcoming scene. I try to keep up to date with a lot of it. But I don't know, just with work and stuff, it's hard to keep up. But like I do see there's a lot of cool stuff. Like there's a big comeback as far as like, or a big scene as far as like the punk ska stuff,
Oh, most definitely.
And it's really cool stuff. It's like I feel like they're being original with it, and they're being, I know a lot of it is kind of just be yourself, kind of attitude, and I really like,
Yeah.
I've been checking out what was it, We Are the Union, the new We Are the Union, and I'm just listening to the message of it, and it's pretty cool.
Did I have Oh, okay. I forgot
to stay in touch with everything, like.
Well, Bad Times Records basically is like they're kind of killing the game right now.
Yeah, but I try to keep an open mind when it comes to music,
Yeah.
I'm a big music nerd, not just Jamaican music, but I like punk stuff, and I like mariachi, like my wife mentioned, and just I don't know.
I like mariachi live.
I think me too. Like me being like growing up in high school, like I was the only kid that was into ska. Like I was getting everyone into like, whether it was Jamaican stuff, like I'd show them, the Scatolites, or, I was the one showing everybody. Nobody was really into that, but and everyone else was into like the upcoming pop punk stuff, you know.
Right. So
So
what?
I grew an appreciation for that too. You know, I like to think that I'm kind of open minded when it comes to all types of music.
That's good, and you do, because I mean you're
This is
in.
Scott.
This is ska talk, but
Yeah.
it's all music.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the day, it's music talk. So, you know, and I mean, kind of related to what you just said. I mean, some of the projects you play, it is very different from one project to the other. Can you tell us like some of the other projects you're doing currently?
Currently,
The music projects, I should say.
I'm not doing much music, but currently.
Yeah, you are. Oh, currently you're talking to me, but
No, but I think the most recent stuff is with Jackie Mendez. We just released, or she just released a soul tune we did like in the middle of quarantine.
right.
We planned it out, and you know, whenever we felt it was safe, we kind of all made a pact, and you know, went to the studio and just tracked the song, which already came out a couple weeks ago, Back Burner, and it's more soul, you know, it's more like Chicano soul style. But couple weeks back, couple months back, we did another session, so she'll be releasing some more tunes here shortly. I don't think it's announced yet. I don't know if I'm supposed to even talk about it, so sorry if I'm
Cat's out of the bag.
yeah, stay posted, man, with Jackie, because she's got some cool stuff. She's really been like killing the game too. Like,
Yeah, I'm glad to see that. I love her voice.
Yeah, she's been like super active and super like making her video, doing new tunes. And a lot of these are tunes that like she's had for a while. So like she finally like, you know, she's always had the motivation, but she just finally said like, all right, let's do this, let's track this. And so yeah, aside from Back Burner, there's some other stuff upcoming.
Yeah.
And it's some reggae stuff. So
I was so psyched to see her live when I was over there with you guys last February. It was just like a whole weekend, a whirlwind weekend of music that whole weekend. But
that was fun, man.
Yeah, her voice, man. And then you're playing with the Rhythm Ambassadors with our buddy Ray, and your wife is also jumps in there too, right?
Yeah, she sings. And we think we're gonna be tracking some stuff on that soon as well.
Very cool.
And then
you guys did a really good quarantine video for was it Sky in Casa or one of those, or one of Esteban's live streams that he did. I forgot if it was which one it was, but I even got to pop up in there briefly.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't make it onto the live stream, but I popped up later.
Yeah, no, for sure. That was fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got that, and
that
then,
band is legit too.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of there are a lot of jazz players, so like
that's a really huge advantage. Yeah,
top musicians here in Bakersfield that are really influencing jazz, so it's easy for them to jump in and, you know, play.
Yeah, it's solo and B, and then they kill it.
Then, but yeah, then we got punk rock bowling coming up with Capsouls, so looking forward to that too.
That is exciting.
We're gonna pop up some new tunes on that.
You think you get to play some shows along the way to make it worth it, or are you guys just gonna like?
I think we're just gonna
go and do it.
Punk rock bowling weekend and just chill it out, you know. I think that's kind of our stage right now. We're just kind of chilling, you know.
Yeah.
Not really. We're just chilling out.
Well, you guys did a great live stream during COVID last year at the Fox, right?
Yeah, we got a good response on that. Huge response.
I got to watch that one live. I made sure I was available. That was really good.
Thanks, man. Thanks for everyone who watched that. We got a really good response from that. So that was cool.
Yeah. So. And I think you commented on the fact that you guys lug around a B3.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go. Oh, an M3.
Yeah, it's not as crazy, not as heavy.
That's
not as,
only 120 pounds.
and it's right there, right behind me. You
Yep.
see it?
I have an M3.
That's a Leslie right here.
I don't have a Leslie. I wish I did, but I do have an M3 in my garage.
But we have to, man. We lug that around, and it's not a chore, you know.
That's awesome.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if I end up doing it by myself, I'm like, man.
And you're a big dude too.
Yeah,
that doesn't shock me.
For the right reasons, you know.
What are you, like 6'5" or something?
No, I'm not that big. I'm 5'11".
Ah, what?
When I slouch, you know, because most of the time I'm slouching, you know.
I felt like I was looking up at you. I don't know.
No, I'm not that.
Well, let's switch gears real quick. Let's switch gears real quick. Because you're a very accomplished.
Comments, man. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up.
Oh, it's okay.
I totally cut you off. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No, it's all right. As accomplished as you are in the music, you are also very accomplished in the art, and I wanted to make sure that we kind of showcase this as well for everybody watching, because you do some outstanding graphic design. So I'm going to pop over to some pictures while we talk real quick. But I guess you've been drawing at an early age, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been drawing my whole life.
Yeah.
I can't ever remember not drawing or not being stuck with an art project of any sort. You know, I've always been with art.
And how long have you been doing the graphic design? Like for commercially and for bands?
Well, I took like some courses in high school, and after that, nothing really happened. And then I ended up getting a job at a print shop. And at first, I was like, I wasn't too familiar with it, you know, with graphic design. Besides what I learned in high school, but like, you know, I took it for a little bit. But after that, yeah, they were looking for a graphic designer, and I went in. I was like, I could do it, and they hired me, and I was kind of learning as I was going, but I was pretending like I knew what I was doing.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, and it worked out. It worked out. I was there for quite a while, and you know, we did
I was telling you.
Started doing other projects, you know, on the side, and art projects. And
yeah, you got a very particular style that I like. It's really cool. Yeah. We're looking at can you see the pictures I'm showing?
No, I can't wait.
Oh, no worries. I'm showing the historic Bakersfield Fox Theater.
Oh man, I made a mess here.
It's really cool.
Let's see.
But you got a lot of.
Okay. I see it.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of cycling through.
Just little 1930s inspired cartoons.
Yeah.
That's when that's when the theater opened, 1930s. So.
Oh, right on. Look at this. I'm looking at. Well, what you're looking at is behind what I'm at, but you did a T-shirt design for the Pie Tasters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I was mesmerized by the model. I'm sorry.
That's obviously because that is your lovely wife.
Yeah.
Modeling the T-shirts. And then this crazy sweater for the Slackers.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. All that, shout out to Revolution Vintage right here. See it?
Yeah. Sammy K.
Yeah. So.
And here we got you worked with the Bandulus recently too.
Yeah, and all that was through Rev Vintage. So
yeah,
big ups to Sammy and Beth. You know,
so
Beth started that as a vintage clothing store.
Right on.
And then they branched out to like the record label.
And then the Western Standard Time. That's pretty awesome. Very cool look. Let me jump back over here for a second. There's Sammy K, Jackie Mendez. Look at that. Look at that piece of artwork right there. That's the Mr. Kingpin album.
Oh, all right.
You You knocked it out of the park for our album.
That was a fun one, man.
I'm burying the lead, but Chris played drums for the upcoming Mr. Kingpin album, and he also did all the art.
Yeah, man. I can't believe I didn't plug that in, man. I was supposed to say that, man.
Well, we're talking about all your your projects. So we're throwing this one here in at the end, but I was very excited to play with you.
That's my project too, until you fire me, man.
That ain't happening.
Either way, man. That's all.
Well, I might fire you. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll still be there, man. I'll be in the crowd singing the songs.
But yeah, man.
Supernova, man. I'm excited for that.
That's right. We're playing Supernova together.
Supernova.
With 100% more Hepcat.
Oh yeah. Hepcat is officially on the bill again.
Hepcat is back, baby.
Yeah. So
pretty awesome. That was a nail biter. Everybody was waiting for this mystery announcement.
Everyone got a little worried after that, and then they announced it again, and now it's like at 110%. You know?
Yeah.
They're like even more stoked than originally.
I know. It's almost like they pulled that back on us just so that we could get like even more excited.
I know. It's like they knew what they were doing.
It was a big marketing scheme.
Yeah.
No, but seriously.
This day only. But yeah, shout out to if Greg Lee's still on here, shout out to Greg Lee.
Yeah. So
that's a big Hepcat's a big part of my, ska story as well.
Yeah. Course. This will be my first time seeing him. So I'm excited.
For sure, man.
Well, cool, man. I see you have your awesome setup back here, your little drum studio.
Yeah. It's still I still got some ideas I want to do,
I see it's still mic'd up. Yeah, ready to go.
Same stuff, man. Ready to go.
2 weeks ago, we crammed out a tune in the matter of days, and I was through modern technology, I engineered your drum session from Dallas over there, and then we knocked a tune out that's coming out for Specialized later. I don't know when it's coming out, but there's a tune that we got coming out for Specialized soon.
For sure.
So I want to thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Did we miss anything? Do you want to please
I've been fairly awkward.
Plug me. Nah, you're good. You're good.
I'm not an interview guy. I'm kind of
you're easy going, man. Like Sunday morning.
Little guy, I'm like I stay behind the scenes, so it's kind of I'm a little nervous,
Nervous. So I'll tell you what. At the end of this, I'm going to replay your video so that everybody can watch the master at work.
Yeah.
So we'll go out on the video because it's like a very cool montage you made for me. I'm assuming you made that for me.
Yeah. This whole thing right here?
Yeah. All this is for me.
Yeah. Right on, man. Well, yeah, it's been fun, man, and can't wait for Supernova, man. That's gonna be fun.
Yep. Only what are we gonna be there? So many friends, and then what do we say? It's like only 13 weeks away, guys.
13 weeks, man. So yeah, a lot of homies are gonna be there. A lot of that's what's cool about the scene too. The ska scene is you meet from traveling. You meet all these people, and it's just you meet all these friends, and it's exciting to kind of see a bunch of faces again.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Chris. Keep on playing.
Johnny Bravo, man. We'll do some more stuff for sure.
Yep.
And thanks for having me. And this has been fun, man. This has been fun.
Yeah, we got to learn a lot of cool details. Next week, June 25th, we got Tazy Phillips from Ska Parade. So I'm sure he's got plenty of old stories to tell with the 90s ska scene coming up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna call it a night, and we're gonna leave you with some more ska drumming from Krees Borbon.
See y'all later. Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.